Hey gang, this video airs on Sunday, January 23rd, 2022, which means that the Airports DLC, the Maps Content Creator Pack, and the Vehicles Content Creator Pack are only 2 days away. This week in City Skylines, I have been having so much fun with the city's community over on Twitch. Somebody told me to do a barrel roll, so we also fumbled our way through making a custom interchange in my city. Interchanges are definitely 100% the thing that I find the most challenging about City Skylines, so naturally, I love them. We have a bit of new info about Tuesday's releases, which I will get to after this guy covers this week in social media. Thanks, Toad. This week, we are going to start theming the post that we're looking at, beginning with Instagram. City Designer 6 brings us our first kinda zoomed in overhead shot, and there's just so much to look at. The beautiful but not too crowded pathing, the LUT and themes, the sunken roads. I think roads over at the left? Lovely. Our next kinda zoomed in overhead shot comes from Houseman with this tram station. It looks like it is the Cormandella's stop. Just take a moment to see if you can spot all of the details that were put in here. The texture on the paths, the bollards, the planters, hedges. There was so much put into this and it really shows. And we have Arlas bringing us a kinda zoomed in overhead shot done in black and white. And I wouldn't have thought black and white would look so good, but I kind of like it. The effort that Arlas put into the road decals here is really incredible, and looking at this scene, it just feels so lived in. Nicely done. This week on Twitter, we saw more zoomed out overhead shots, and this one from Hubbub features such a stunning cityscape. The variances in the trees, the pockets of high density and low density filling up the land, and we get a great view of the road infrastructure. I love this screenshot. Scald Plays also posted a more zoomed out overhead shot, and with the low density in front and the mountains in the back, all that forest, this is awesome. It looks only lightly modded as well. I see some parking lot roads in there, so that's really impressive work. And we have Supernovae Productions and their more zoomed out overhead shot. And I absolutely love folks who do neat geometrical stuff with their landscaping like this. Someone get Toad on it, please. This city is really well filled in, and I'm excited to see what they do with the sun looking spot. Now, I may have to admit that I had most of these Reddit posts picked out before I decided to do the whole theme thing. So can we call the theme surrealness, kind of, except for maybe one? Cool, perfect. This username token surely fits that theme because I haven't seen this before. I want to say it looks almost sci-fi-ish, but also like pretty believable. I'm a huge fan of surrealism, and this is truly an inspiration. I want to just copy this. This is great. Admittedly, YotosTheCoconut brings a little bit more real than surreal, but I really love this view. We've got the leaves that have fallen to the ground, snow in the air, and the giant used to be Christmassy tree, but without any decorations. It's a really great shot. And the coloring, the theme, yeah. And then we move over to HamadaShugo's screenshot, and man, this is super neat. If I remember correctly reading the comments, I think this is based on a real place. It's a really funky screenshot. I'm off to go hunt for that asset in the workshop. And speaking of the workshop, Turn, what you got? Thanks, Guy. You're doing a great job, eh? This is the front page of the workshop, and this week 2 assets caught my eye to download and try out. Luminou brings us this unique building, Suncorp Palace. The building itself is beautiful, right? But I oddly, specifically love both the base of it and the roof of it. They just have like a little extra detail that I find I usually don't feel that I get on these buildings. And I'm a big fan. I also downloaded this column of Constantine from Beneficarum, as I really love to use statues in my city, but I want a variety and I especially look for statues that are not like gigantic. This one places as a unique building and has some detail at the base of it that I really appreciate, and it's just generally beautiful. For workshop gems, I am going to take a page out of the book of this guy and start working with themes. This week's theme is as simple as commercial buildings, but I love each one of these 3 assets for very different reasons. This generic fast food shop by DSB Subrajoti is really useful if you've got some sign props that you want to use, or you want to get into procedural objects and are looking for a blank canvas to do some work on. I can see content creators using this to put a supporter's name on or something like that, and it's also just a really funky looking building. The infamous King Leno brings us this pawn shop building, and I really love how like rugged it is. The graffiti, the worn down brick, it's so well done that I really want to build a rougher neighborhood just to have an excuse to use this asset. Then we have this 7-Eleven from Evan Hasu, which is really kind of cheating on the commercial theme. This building actually functions as a crematorium, but obviously looks like a corner store, convenience store. I think this is really useful for when you are struggling with the death care buildings, like aesthetically, and you don't want to just dump down a bunch of crematoriums. Use this bad boy and you're good. Big brain moves. On to the new info for the Airports DLC and the 2 new content creator packs. Behind me, you should see the new trees that are being placed, and they are all coming with the free update that comes with this whole release. Maddie seemed as excited as I am about all the new foliage, and it's infectious. It's very exciting. These trees and bushes were all commissioned from Mr. Mason, and from what I understand, they are mostly revamps of his most downloaded assets from the workshop. We will get more information on the free update tomorrow on Monday. And moving on to a couple extras that I did learn, the content creator packs will be priced at / around $4.99 USD. They said regional pricing kind of thing. We also learned a little more about the Airports DLC. The 3 new maps that come with the DLC are all very flat to help accommodate building such a large airport. The weekly City Skylines stream that this footage came from also showed off all 8 of the maps from the map content creator pack, and they will be looking at the vehicles on Tuesday's live stream, as well as, of course, all of the airport hullabaloo. In the 2 new videos that were released by City Planner Plays but on the City Skylines channel, we learned that airport trains are faster than the standard trains that we have, but they still hold the usual 240 passengers. Airport metros are also faster than their original counterpart, and they also hold 180 passengers. Now, he said that the higher level your airport is, the more capacity you will have with public transit. But what I think he meant was that you unlock the higher levels of public transit as your airport unlocks. So like your first unlock would be buses and then metro and then train kind of thing. They did again mention that they have been working with modders prior to this release to make things as seamless as possible, and Maddie was even using mods during this live stream. So guys, there is hope. This week's comment comes from Mirak on a community post that I had showing off a poutineery in my city. It says, "First time I ever seen that word poutine, I had to look it up. I am in SEPA, so I think he means Southeast Pennsylvania, right? Have you heard of Scrapple?" So I had to Google Scrapple. I won't talk about what's in it, and I guess warning, there's gonna be a gross image in 3, 2, 1. Look at it. I don't know if I'm gonna get any hate for this, but gosh golly, that looks gnarly. But I mean, who knows? Maybe it's super comforting. Just wanted you to see what Scrapple was because I had to. Okay, gross image gone. Guys, if you like what you're seeing in the city behind me and you want to see it in action, please do click on the playlist that's showing on screen now, and I will catch you next time.